This is a time for celebration. It's the 10th anniversary for my CF Walk team, Shanni Stompers. We had very humble beginnings. It was the year 2003, and there were just 4 of us, my twin sister Wendy, plus our friends Annette and Janet. Armed with our pledge forms, we were thrilled when we raised nearly $3,000 in our first year. Over the next few years, we grew a little in size and donations. Then in 2006, inspired by my dear friend Christy, who had an enormous team by comparison, I set my sights on expanding the team and raising the bar on what we could achieve to raise funds and awareness. Fast forward the clock, here we are, 10 years, 400 walkers, and over $223,000 later. It feels great to know that we're making a difference. Our collective fundraising total is the equivalent of funding over a year of gene therapy research. The last 10 years have been busy. In preventative care, newborn screening for CF is approved in 6 out of 10 provinces, with ongoing advocacy from CF Canada to get the remaining provinces on board. This is a crucial development, as earlier diagnosis means earlier treatment to prevent irreversible damage to the lungs and digestive system, giving CF babies a better start in life. In patient treatments, an inhaled medication called hypertonic saline becomes available and is shown to reduce lung infections. The symptoms of such infections can include increased cough and mucus production, inflammation in the lungs, causing worsening shortness of breath, chest pain, chest heaviness, fevers, and even coughing up blood. An innovative therapy is invented in Toronto that can repair damaged donor lungs previously considered unsuitable for transplantation. This breakthrough increases the number of available lungs for transplant and reduces surgery wait times for patients at end-stage disease. An inhaled antibiotic called Caystin is approved by Health Canada. Previously, this antibiotic was only available to patients through intravenous. Thus, inhaled Caystin is a much more accessible and easier drug to administer today. An inhaled antibiotic called Tobipod-Haler is approved by Health Canada. Previously, this form of tobramycin was primarily administered by nebulization. The Podhaler makes it much more convenient and less time-consuming for patients to receive their twice-daily medication. And recently, ivacaftor, also known as Kalydeco, is approved by Health Canada in 2012. You may recall from my video last year that Kalydeco is a drug that works at the cellular level to open the chloride channels that do not function, thus correcting the defective CFTR protein, the defect that causes CF. This drug is effective for a specific genetic mutation that about 4% of the CF population carry. Currently, 2 more drugs by the makers of Kalydeco are in the testing phases. These drugs will target a different genetic mutation called the delta F508. Why this is particularly exciting is because 90% of the CF population carry at least 1 copy of this gene. In 2004, 50% of the CF population were adults. Today, that percentage has grown to 60%, more proof that CF patients are living longer. Whereas in 2003, median survival for people with CF in Canada was 38 years, today we anticipate that half of people with CF will see their 48th year. That's the highest survival rate in the world. So when I was a few months old, my parents knew something was wrong with me, and the doctor. In the meantime, for me, living with CF has been busy too. In the last decade, I've spoken at 24 separate events to raise awareness for CF, participated in 3 awareness or teaching videos, joined a patient family advisory board for the Toronto Adult CF program, and received 2 awards of achievement from CF Canada. I've taken over 164,000 pills, spent over 8,500 combined hours on inhaled treatments and chest physiotherapy, taken over 20,000 injections, and spent nearly 2,000 days on IV therapy. It is exhausting work. And there are days where it feels like taking one more inhalation will overwhelm me. but I settle down and carry on. I am so grateful for the treatment options, which are quite literally saving my life. In my CF circle of friends, the gift of longer life has been celebrated with many milestones. We celebrated love at little Anne's wedding to Mike. We rejoiced when Denise gave birth to her first baby. We shared exhilaration for several successful double lung transplants. Sarah has lived to marry her love, John. Kim and Christy were able to take their dream vacations to Italy and Ireland, respectively. And Jamie has been able to remain a wonderful mother to her son, Theo. But as we celebrate these moments of triumph, we also suffered crushing despair for our friends who lost their fight. Lee, Mark, Kyle, Robert, Jason, Carla, and most recently, Amber. Only some of the losses we mourned this decade. These special friendships were treasured gifts to me, and I lock my memories of each of them in my heart. So while medical breakthroughs are happening, the fact remains that half of the CF patients who died in 2011 were under 34 years of age. That is a time when life should just be beginning, not coming to a tragic early end. Today, we celebrate Shanni Stompers being 10 years strong, and there is much to commemorate. But until a cure is here, we walk, we raise awareness, and we persevere. To the doctors, nurses, and researchers, you have my deepest thanks and respect. To my supporters, my friends, and my family, who remain as committed as ever in helping Shanni Stompers succeed. Your loyalty fuels my fire. Words alone can't express my gratitude. Thank you for seeing us through our first decade, and for seeing us through the exciting years to come.